Let's get ready to rumble. How you doing today, folks? How you doing, Taylor?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Fine. I'm on my 13th cup of coffee. I'm doing excellent.
Awesome.
Awesome. Oh, I just got done trading, folks. Had my last trade just before the bell. I was actually playing options today on the SPY, and I play last day options, 0 day. You got to be out before the bell because it's dead. One way or the other, it's dead. And I did good today, so I'm feeling good. It's always nice to have your day end on a positive note. And look at the SPY fall and jump. That was great timing. So I see we've got a lot of people here. Now, I'm not sure if all of you are here because a lot of these comments came in early. That's great. I tell you to put your tickers in early if you want guaranteed viewing. And you're in there. You get your ticker in before 4 o'clock. That gives me time to go through the information, get it all lined up for you, give it the biggest bang for your buck possible. So thanks. We have got 6. Is that right, Taylor? 6 stocks lined up right now?
We have 6. Yep.
6 stocks, and we've been doing an average of about 8 by 510. So we'll probably have room for a couple more. And it looks like we draw the line down there at Velmore at Jet Black. So Kashara, your next one will be the first one after our queue of 6. Wow, you got a lot of comments in there, Taylor. I like that about you.
Yeah, I like joining and speaking a little bit before we start.
Jenny Whiter, good to see you there. Toner, we'll see if we can get the toner. I did just do a video on it. So, I mean, the chart is pretty much all we need to look at. Maybe we can toss that over to Taylor here in a few minutes. So we've got William Broderick, Ray Garcia, Kashira. They've all brought tickers to us. Thank you, guys. Let's jump on into that then. Yeah. Oh, I got to click it. I was wondering why it wasn't coming up. There we go. We're just on the wrong one. First come, first served. That's the way we cover these. Now, hopefully all of my highlighting sticks. I have got pages set up of information I don't want to miss. And then we can scope back over the other information. Now, because we've only got so much time, we're not going to spend a lot of time on these. So if I seem to move a little quick, well, we're really wanting to know why it's moving and when we should be getting in and getting out. Because we're day traders. I mean, that's really the bottom line, right? So we're looking at SWIN. I had no clue what SWIN was. SWIN finished today at $3.81 and dropped a lot today, about 26%. She is on the major exchange. These stocks come with benefits. Any of the stocks on the major exchange, not just the penny stocks. They're free to trade. There's no transaction fees up there. And you can trade them pre-market, aftermarket. Don't ignore those markets. Even if you're not there, you can still place orders for those periods. And let's face it, there's a lot more volume and dollars up on the major market. They are the safer stock to play because even those markets are monitored closely compared to the OTC. Now let's see here. I don't know if you can see this or not. No, you can't. I have some notes here. See if I grabbed anything. No, there wasn't anything here for this company. So let's see what I grabbed up. All right, first off, if I remember correctly, yes. All right, this company just came on the market in September. The company is based in Hong Kong. They're called Solomon Holdings. They are a versatile securities brokerage company strategically focused on high net worth investors. Ooh, that makes my ears ring. High net worth investors around the world. They offer a wide spectrum of products and services spanning from your traditional assets to virtual assets through its advanced, secure, one-stop electric platform, Solomon Wind. Now, there wasn't any news. There were really no filings. I did find one filing that had some information here because even when I go over to the share structure, it reads 0. 0. Come on, how many shares you got? Well, they just came on the market in September. I would have figured that information would be there, but it is listed in their IPO. I don't think anything's happened since then because there haven't been any more filings. You got to file if you're doing a public offering. So they tell us on September 6th, the company, a Chinese investor-focused versatile brokerage company, announced that their initial offering of 2 million shares for $4. Now, if I remember correctly, the price came on at $4 and hit almost $13 that day. So you had a 300% run and then it just cascaded all the way back down. And right now, to me, the chart looks like it's setting up for a breakup, but we're going to let Taylor nitpick on that. But that's what we've got in the share count, 2 million. And these Chinese companies are well known for coming on with IPOs with low share counts. About a year and a half ago, I think it was HKD and MGOL. I'm guessing there. I know I'm close. These guys went hundreds of dollars. They came on the market at like $6, $7, and they went to hundreds of dollars. I can't even remember. It was a ridiculous price for no real reason, but they had 5 million shares. That was it.
Well, hey, John, so what happened with that stock? Because this chart is very strange. It's giving me some kind of weird information, and there's no split. So I'm wondering what happened with that. Was it on the market and then came off and then came back on, or was it OTC for a while and then
no, as far as I can tell, this was an IPO on the NASDAQ September 13th. They only put 2 million shares on the market. That was all they had.
Well, wait till you see this. I'll show everybody because this is very weird.
Let me see. Was there any other information I had? Well, I just wanted to show you that. I wasn't making that stuff up. They've got nothing over here on them. Financials. Well, now this is where you would expect, since they're working with big net investors, people who have lots of money, you'd expect them to be making lots of money. Well, at the end of the first quarter of 2023, which is the end of their annual, they did 4.4 million. Didn't pay a penny for it, but it doesn't show it as profit either. I don't know what to think about that. Quarterlies, you normally don't get quarterlies on the major exchange. They don't bother with them. I think they do semi-annuals every 6 months. Looking at their balance sheet, they got some money in the bank, about 2 million. They got 10.2 million in assets. Liabilities aren't bad, 6.8. So we've actually got 3.3 million stockholder equity. So they seem to be a brokerage over in Hong Kong for people who have a lot of money, not just for securities. And from what I was reading, they're on all the exchanges. They have this open platform that reaches out to all the exchanges. They have access to 10,000 securities, including cryptocurrency. So it sounds like they're in the right market with the right products. We don't see anything really happening here. There was no real news. They got a conference going on. That's the news that came out today. They got a conference, which I shouldn't shrug off. Conferences are important. You're talking to investors. You're winding them up. A couple of days after this date, you should see some investors. They went and scrounged up some money somewhere and they've invested. So you should see a bump if they did their job right. Otherwise, they're talking to businesses or people who can invest in them or buy their products, which, again, they need to do a good job there. And that's always good too. Outside of that, I don't see any real news here. So let's take a look at that chart.
Yeah, I just want to show something real quick. I'm going to go to the other chart, but look down here at the date. So up here when it was $30, it's saying it was October 19th of 2018. You see that down there at the very bottom?
Oh,
it's down here. And then it switches right over to that September 7th of 2023. So I don't know what happened because obviously,
well, maybe that ticker was out there and not trading like on some sort of expert market for the major exchange.
Yeah,
and they came along and bought it. Got a hold of the ticker cheap.
Is that what happened? Okay.
Well, I'm guessing because if it's got a history, this company just came along now. So yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna have to drop it down to the 1 hour because even the 4 hour is going to this is going to just be weird. I don't know if this is going to be accurate because of the history. So if you go to the daily, it's not going to be accurate because the 200 is going to be way up here, like $17. So that's not accurate. So let's drop down to the 1 hour.
I see what you're saying. Right. The bars are accurate, but the SMAs aren't.
Right. Correct. So like this number is accurate, $3.85. But those SMAs or EMAs or whatever you're using, that's not going to be accurate on the daily chart because we haven't had 200 days of, the normal, like what it is now. It's going to be going back to like 2018. So ignore that and we'll just go to the 1 hour. So the 1 hour looks pretty good because we hit like support right here on the 200 almost perfectly, which is pretty crazy. That was today.
That's what I noticed. Yeah, she came down to a nice hard landing and bounced on it, showing that it has support. If you're bouncing on it, it's got support.
It did hit a low of 325 today. And that's after a high of like 650, and that was on Monday. So it has really dropped quite a bit. So on Monday we were seeing highs of 650. Now we're at 385. So if that gives you any kind of perspective,
And
it's
all we
on
can
its way down.
say, and that's a couple of days ago that she was running.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
was
know
on
why
Monday.
she's running. I have no clue what the catalyst is. You've
I
got
don't
to
know.
watch that. If you own it, maybe it's a time to average down because maybe some insiders know something. We see that sometimes. Things will happen a week after it starts to run. It's like, why did it start running a week before the news? Because somebody knew something.
Yeah,
So right now, I don't know why it's running, but that is a nice takeoff. It has fallen hard, but from a
yeah.
buyer's point of view, now would be a time to watch it if you were interested in the company. But I don't know anything more than that, unless you know of an article or some more information on Twitter or something.
I'm not sure. Yeah, they might. So I marked off 450 because that was the opening price of the IPO. So in 2023. So we're down below that to give you some reference.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't like seeing that when it comes all the way back down, but we have seen a low of 184. I marked that off as well. So we still have another $2 to fall to its all-time low. So if you get in this, you're gonna have to set some kind of stop because you could lose a lot of money, 50% or more,
Yeah.
you know. Um, Otherwise, let's see what it did today. So this was today. This was the 15-minute. So we opened up here. It even did some pre-market trading. It does do pre-market and after hours because it's on the NASDAQ, and
Mm-hmm.
it has just fallen. It fell all day. It did hit, then this was the 200 on the 1 hour. It hit that and is just kind of trailing here. But I would, if it stays in this area and falls below, then I would definitely get out. But it has potential. So I don't hate it, but I don't know. What
Well,
do you
the
think,
thing
John?
here is not only can I not explain why it was running, I
Yeah,
can't explain
that's
why
what
it's
I'd like to
falling.
know what the catalyst was,
I
but
can't explain why it's doing anything, climbing or falling. It's
mhm,
running on its own mind right now. And if I
okay.
can't understand it, I don't really want to play it. But if you've got an interest in it, I'd be watching it because she's come
Mhm,
alive for some reason. And just because we can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
okay. Ding.
Ding. That was my cue. All
All
right.
right.
Our next stock here is Nano Dimensions. I've looked at this a few times. I don't remember where, maybe in a video, maybe here. This is ticker NNDM, another hot penny stock on the NASDAQ. Finished today at $2.44, and she was up a smidge, just about 2%. So, what does this company do? Well, they work with 3D printing technology. This is their website over here. And you can see just by going through here, they not only make the machines, but they print things. I mean, entire circuit boards. That green board that all those different pieces are on. They print the entire circuit board now using 3D printers. And they sell the printers, they have the programs. That's their business right there. So, what information did I dig up about this? Well, this was some older information, still sitting on the back burner. Ain't heard anything about this. And obviously, this company, Nano, has interest, I'm sure. This came out, I think it was November, maybe not that far back. But in either case, Nano approached the company Stratus, ticker SSYS, and offered them a buyout of $16.50. They wanted to buy every share of that company for $16.50, which they are a 3D printing company too. So you got one fish trying to eat another fish. And, it sounds like it should be a profitable thing, but they don't want the deal. It wasn't asked for. It's not for sale. So that's in the air. Don't know what's up with that. The other piece of information is some, where's the date? There it is, January 31st, yesterday. Nano Dimension filed for second patent for unique large language model. So this doesn't say they've got it. It says they filed for it. Got to make sure you read those words and don't jump to presumptions because news runs when patents are granted. Now you've got the intellectual property. You own it. It's got value. Do others want it? They're going to have to license it from you. So they go into some information here. Nano Dimension, the leading supplier of additively manufactured electronics and multidimensional polymer, metal, and ceramic additive manufacturing 3D printing solutions, today announced the filing of a U.S. patent application titled Large Language Models for Efficiently Anomaly Detection in Log Files of Industry Machines. It's a program that finds mistakes. You're going to love that. It goes through your books and it finds mistakes. And they think this is going to be hot. And this is all AI. So they're going to have a patent on this. And we're going to start seeing a lot of patents coming out on AI. And believe it or not, AI is helping to create these new technologies with themselves. It's an interesting market to be watching right now, folks. So let's get some relative volume here on the company. We didn't look at the relative volume in that last company, did we? Shame on me. Needed to scream out there. All right, relative volume for Nano. She dropped a little today, going from 1.8 million down to 1.5. Share structure. Don't know what the float is, but the outstanding share count's about 250 million, 258 million. Float could be anywhere up to that, or it could be considerably less. Market cap for the company, a number a lot of people are interested in, 620 million. Looking at the disclosures, I don't think there was anything there, or else I would have grabbed them up, but we're just going to make sure. I think we just peekabooed in on that one. That's the patent one right there. So that's everything there. And the news, I don't think there was any news there. That's from 2016. Language model. Right. There are a lot of filings over there, folks. I did actually look at them, and they've got news here that just reminded me about them. They are working on getting their rights out there. This is a common stock. All right. This isn't even a common stock. It's an ADS. Most of the stocks on the market are common A-class shares. This is an ADR. It's a bank deposit for a company that should be out of the country. That's normally the case. There he is, Israel. ADRs are an easier way for foreign companies to get available to American investors, but the shares are held by banks, but they're treated the same as if they were held by brokers and other places. But they are bringing on not warrants, but rights. Warrants are coupons down the road. Rights are coupons up front. You can buy shares cheap now. So they are taking care of that right now, which is a big deal if you're buying rights. But it also, from what I understand, and I don't know enough about rights, it hurts the stock price when these rights are converted, and they are done early in the game, unlike warrants, which are done 3, 4, 5 years down the road. So I think we just covered everything there. No, we did not. What about our financials? Lots of them. Holy cow, she's been kicking. 4 years ago, she was only at 7 million. Just last end of 2022, she was at 43 million. She's been taking profits all along, but was really strong. What?
I said, nice. Is there any news from the 19th of January this year?
19th of January. We'll check that out. Money in the bank. Lots of total assets here, folks. They got 1.2 billion, and their liabilities, only 53 million. This company's got a lot of stockholder equity for a penny stock. We don't see this very often. Stockholder equity is at $1.15 billion. That is to the shareholders. That's not the company's profits. So that's really, really good to see. All right. You said the 19th? Of this year. That's 2016 of January. No, the 3rd, we had Seeking Alpha, the 25th Seeking Alpha. We got no news whatsoever.
Okay.
Let me take a quick brief over here. On the 18th, we had a 144 come out. This is actually telling you how many shares people own and what they've been doing with them. I don't understand this form that much either, folks. I won't lie to you. The 144s give you a lot of information about individual holdings, but that's the only one we've got there, even close to the 19th.
Okay.
So I do believe that covers everything with this. Yes, ma'am. So let's take a look at the chart for Nano Dimensions.
Okay, so here's why I asked. So we've seen this before because I had this line already drawn. So it was kind of like there was a gap here, and I was saying, this is kind of like a
Uh,
descending channel. So it did break out of this, and now we're kind of in another one, and it looks like we're breaking out of this. But if you zoom in, let me show you 4 hour. So this was the 19th. We had a really nice strong candle. These are regular candles, by the way. So, we hit this low of, 207, give or take, and came all the way up to 221 in one day. So, I mean, that's not a ton, but it's quite a move. And it's just been kind of flagging out ever since. And we're still
Not
in.
only is it
Yep.
breaking out over your channel line, it's
Mhm.
breaking out over the 200.
Correct. So
Yeah,
I do like that. And let's drop it down to the
I
one
like
hour, and let me get the Ikonashi's on. There we go.
that.
So this is in this little area where we had that gap fill, and it did come in here several times, and we're in it again. We're like right in it. And I already had drawn that, so I'm not sure. That's pretty cool, actually. So we're coming up above that,
Yeah.
and it looks really nice from this perspective here. This is the 1 hour. Okay, so we're showing like this is when it started its run on the 19th, is how I've
Boy,
seen.
talk about respecting the 50. That is her
Yeah.
nice hard floor.
Isn't it? Look at that. I mean, it dips below it and comes right back. It's done
Yeah,
it
that's
several times.
almost becoming predictable. Be careful.
Yeah, this is really nice. I mean, it's setting up really nice,
Well,
but I
right
need to
now it
get it.
looks like it would be coming back down to that 50, right?
It
From
could, yeah. If it's going to continue to run, I want to see it above this little area that I had shaded.
ah,
That was from that
right.
gap.
Yep,
Um,
yep, yep.
yeah, so this one's really respecting all those little, areas that I had marked off before. So really, really nice. I like this one.
Trading nuances. Yeah, yeah. She is definitely worth watch now. She's at that point that if she does make a move up, she's breaking out of everything at the same time.
Yeah,
This is looking sweet on the chart. No doubt about it.
for sure, for sure. Yep. Looks good. I'm gonna keep an eye on this one for sure. I like this. We've looked at it before, but I that was before I started marking the dates, so I don't know
Bing.
exactly.
Digital
Ding!
star from Taylor. Bing. I like this one.
I do
I give
like
it
it.
3 stars.
Okay, next.
Here's one I looked at a long time ago. This is KBLB, Craig Biocraft Laboratories. I mean,
Okay.
it was a long time ago I looked at this. And I know it was around because they had contracts with the Army back in 2016, 2017. The company sells silk, real silk. You call it spider silk, but it's really being made by worms. And they got a picture of their worms right here. Let's get a picture of their worms. Where you at? Come on. There they are. And that's how they make their silk. And they
That's
can
cool.
produce it on scale. Imagine that. And this is their most recent news. They're now working with Vietnam, who's very interested in this. And I saw a video not too long ago that, oh my God, they took, it was less than a quarter inch thick. I think it was between an eighth and a quarter inch thick of this stuff. And they were able to hold up a car with it. And they said it
Oh
could hold
yeah.
up 2 cars. And it's like, oh my God. Well, they tell us down here back in 2016 and 2017, they had contracts with the Army, made over $1 million with them. They've been featured in all of these places down here. So they're not no names. That's for sure. Let's see what else we've got here. Looking at all their news that's been recent, going back to December, the company's laboratory announces early start to production season with successful small batch delivery of spider silk. On the 19th, the company successfully produces test utilizing a 2-strain hybrid system. I tried to get some more information about that. They didn't explain their 2-strain, but it's their new big deal. Here in January, the company targets vertical markets for its spider silk and shares planned applications. Now, these are the vertical markets that they're targeting right now. They go into some information about how they're going about this and what they're doing, but they're going after engineering, composites, cosmetics, defensive and protective textiles, which I think they're already involved with, bioplastics that are biodegradable, fiber optics, and medical textiles. And from what I was reading, the fiber optics one is one they're really interested in. Spider silk and fiber optics. It's crazy stuff. And let me see the last piece of news. the company's laboratory signs a pivotal memorandum of understanding with Vietnam Silk Production Capital. And that's it. They are investing money to get silk over there. I mean, if they can produce it there, they'll have first grabs at it. And that's really what they're interested in from what I've been able to gather here. So what was the relative volume around this silk company? Dropped a little bit today, about 160,000 shares from about 700 down to 500. That's 100,000 shares. Share structure for the company. What the? Look at those author shares.
What?
Million, billions. Authorized share count, folks. I think they've topped out. I don't think it's allowed to go any higher. I'm just guessing here, but that's 99 trillion shares. They have the right to put 99 trillion shares on the market. I don't like that. That just looks stupid to me. Right now, they've got, let me see. I got to make sure I get all these commas in here. It gets freaky. So aren't we? All right. So we're at 1 billion. Okay. That number is just too big. It just baffles my brain.
That is so weird. Okay.
100,000. That's 100,000. That's a million. Am I not reading a trillion right there? What? That's what that reads, right? Outstanding shares is 1 trillion.
Yeah.
No.
No, billion.
No, 1 billion. Okay. I'm telling you that boggles me. That just tripped my brain.
You're looking at the other one.
Brain fart. Yeah. Right. 797 million shares. That's in the float. 1 billion outstanding, but they've got so many of these. Market cap for the company, 43 million. They finished today at 0.4 cents, about 10% up. I like this. They're on the middle tier, not the pinks. Here, at least you're getting audited financials. That's important, folks. That means you have a CPA look at it. They're literal numbers, actual numbers you can trust. It makes them more transparent, more trustworthy. And they've got those 2 pieces of validated information to go along with the validated numbers. So from that vantage point, the company looks good. From that vantage point, I just want to step back. I just don't like that. Financials. They're not making any money. I was under the impression they were making money. Nothing. Not annually, not quarterly. They've got some money in the bank, 2.8 million. They've got some in assets, 3.6 million. And they got a lot in liabilities. I guess it takes a lot of money to feed all them worms. That's 8.6 million, which means we're holding the bag for $5 million for this company. Watch out. They could throw some more shares out there. I don't think I had anything else here. Let's make sure. No, those are pretty old there. And they didn't have any other news, which we've already covered. So there you go, folks. That is Craig Biocraft, a silk company that has just made a deal with Vietnam and has trillions of shares. Take a look at the chart.
Okay. So this is the 4 hour. I want to see, does anyone see anything potentially starting here? The 4 hour. Here's a hint.
Oh, cup and handle.
So it's really evident on the 1 hour. Look at this. Here's one here.
Yeah, I see that now.
And then here's like another one here. So this is like,
that's
like perfect cup and handle right here.
Right. And she's definitely on an uptrend, even if she misses the cup and handle.
For sure.
Although, you know, it looks like the cup and handle's already happened.
Yeah, this can be one and then up. So it goes around and then down and then up. Or we have another one kind of forming here, but I like this big one. Yeah.
So far we got a win-win situation.
Yeah. So I'll just kind of illustrate it here. So we have that one and then it goes down and then back up this way. That's up and handle. Yeah. So I see that. I like that. But in order for this to play out, we're going to have to get above this high, which was a little over 5 cents. So got a little ways to go. But it has the potential for sure. I really like this one. This setup looks really nice. Really nice. Yeah, and it's gotten a lot of more volume.
Many good things going for her right now. And actually, right there, the very end, you've got a separate cup and handle. That little tiny one.
Yeah, this one here. There's like another one too, right here.
Yeah, I
Yep.
see it. Oh, this is sweet. This is like a picture hidden in a picture.
Right? Exactly. That's why I was like, "Do you see it? Okay, there's one here, and then
I
there's
do.
another little
I'm
one
all
here."
excited now. Yeah, double
Yeah,
cup.
like another one right there
A baby
starting.
cup and a mama cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
So whoops, yeah, so I really like this one. I like the setup here. This looks really nice.
Now that's the hourly.
This is the hourly, yeah. So if we go down to the 15-minute, you can see it a little more here.
Yeah, and our 200 is pushing up. Our from what I can see from your oscillators, they're all starting to work up.
Yeah,
It
they're
definitely
coming
looks
up.
like the heat is working its way up right now. Definitely worth a watch. The one thing I would watch right there is that looks like 3/4 of an M.
Mm,
Big
mhm.
jump, come down. If that came down to the other side, I see a lot of M's, predominant M's. As soon as the M's completed,
Uh,
I even bet on that today on the SPY, and it worked beautifully. I was hoping it was going to fall at the end of the M, and it did. It was a big drop. It's
nice.
doesn't it feel good to call it right? I mean to go, oh, but after 100 times, of course you get 3 or 4 right. You should feel good about them.
This looks really nice. So this has been like this week, starting, Monday, Tuesday. So I don't know what the news came out. It's on Tuesday. It just spiked up, and then, it's kind of forming this cup. So I really like that. Really, really like it. This is like the newer one, the little one. But we
Well, the
had the
deal was the news was that they made that deal with
Oh,
Vietnam.
yeah, that. Okay, so that sorry, I was looking at the chart when you were talking. I'm just gonna
That's
be quiet.
okay. That's why
So,
there's two of us.
yeah, so, I mean, it did have that nice reaction to that. It came back down to retest, and then it's still running, and that started, looks like today. That was pre-market today, and then this has been the rest of the day.
What's the 5 minute look like on that?
Yeah, sure. Whoops.
Because that's a good strong rip right now, and I'd be willing to watch this. Is this
Yeah.
a Nasdaq stock?
It's OTC stock.
Oh, that's right. So pre-market isn't. That doesn't mean it can't move pre-market aftermarket. We just can't get involved. We are only spectators.
Yeah. So it looks like it did try to hit that. This was from
Yeah,
Tuesday, and then this was today. So it's knocking on the door right now, or it was. So I would expect this to keep going because it
it does
does look
look good.
has shown some strength there. So I like
I
this one.
agree. I agree.
Okay.
Soon as I agreed with her, I got the screen back. Did y'all
Well,
notice
that's
that?
all you have to do.
All right, next one we're going to take a look at came.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if this was Twitter or YouTube, but somebody asked me if I could squeeze this in, and that's exactly what I did. Right here in the middle of what we've got listed on our comments. This is Jaguar Health, ticker JAGX. Finished today just under a dime, just under, but she was falling almost 4%. Another penny stock on the NASDAQ. So this company deals with medicines, but they deal with plant-based medicines. They try to make novel medicines, and some of their medicines are made from very unique plants coming out of the rainforest. That's the neat thing about this company. Looking at their news, I'm just back here at the beginning of the month. The company was issued, there you go, issued a new US patent which bolsters IP protection for Jaguar Health and the treatment of congenital diarrhea disorders. Laugh if you will. I just saw diarrhea. I'm not even saying that right. It's their drug. It helps. I think it is actually, I'm presuming here because they make drugs for animals and your pets. And they make one for cancer that is connected with diarrhea in your dog. So this may be for the drug for the dog with diarrhea. I haven't done a deep dive into this subject. Excuse me. Another piece of news here. Dog study published in PLOS One shows significant results for that cancer therapy related to diarrhea. So I'm thinking maybe that. And then this company, Magdalena Biosciences, is a joint venture between two companies. Did I pull this piece of news up? I did. Between Filament Health, which is on the market, that is ticker FLHLF, They like to work with, I think it's mushrooms and other psychedelics, things like that. I'm thinking, and Jaguar. The two of them got together and created this joint venture called Magdalena Biosciences. And they have got some drug here that is going to help ADHD. And they are working to move that forward as a new drug being introduced to the FDA. They're moving forward. Now I see they're mentioning MDMA down here, which used to be highly illegal and now is getting into our legal drug system. So they're making headways here with their research and development. I don't see anything about uh, products being made or sold, but obviously they are doing something somewhere. I haven't done a deep dive on this, but gee whiz, we're on the right company. Their revenues are growing. At the end of 22 was the best year, almost 12 million. They get to keep most of their money, about 10 million of it. Yeah, not going to get it. Yes, look at this. Now, how come we get quarterlies on this company on the NASDAQ, but we don't others? I don't know everything. They have been doing okay, but not as good as they used to. A year ago, they were doing over 3 million. Now they're doing over 2 and under 3 million. But still, they're taking out most of the money as profits, which is always good. Cash in the bank, they got about 3.2 million. Total assets is 45 million. Total liabilities is 44 million. We're just scraping by with 1.3 million for all the investors holding all the shares. Let's see what else we can learn here. Relative volume for the company up a little bit, jumping from 12 million to 14.4. Share structure. Ooh, that's surprising. That's pretty decent. Outstanding share count is about 51 million. I don't know what the float is, but it's never higher than the outstanding share count. 50 million is a good float. Market cap 5.2 million. We already looked at the financials, right? We did. And disclosures just for a quick peek. We had an investor here. Now, these are always good news. Do not fly by these. First off, check up here and see who invested. If it's a name you know, that in itself can be a catalyst, regardless of how much they got, just that they got. This isn't anybody I understand, but they've bought about 10% of the company. And as I said, that's good news. Anytime you see those, it's good news. And then we got an 8K that goes all the way back to December. We're not going to look at that one.
I just looked at their financials too over here, and it looks like they're in a lot of debt. Is that accurate?
Maybe it is. I would have to, like I said, we seen their balance sheet, but I didn't go into their cash flow. Cash flow is minus 47 million. That doesn't sound good. Total cash flow is minus 31. Total cash flow from investing minus 0.1. Yeah, so they've got a lot of negative numbers in the. So it's not a perfect financial by any means. So there's the down drag. Go ahead and show us what you got over there, Taylor.
Oh, sure. Let me get it back. Hold on.
Dun, 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 dun.
Sorry. So I was looking at this debt here that shows this. And
yeah, see, I like diagrams. They give you a lot of information to digest like that.
And so here's the free float versus the held shares. So like you said, the 50 million. So 40 million of that is free float.
There, see, they didn't tell me that at OTC. So it's 40 million for the float, 50 million OS. Good.
Okay. Yeah. So that kind of caught my eye, all this debt here. That's kind of overwhelming. But the chart, we've looked at this before. We looked at this on the 11th. So because I had marked all these off and I was like, what is going on? We have had several stock splits. Okay. So there was one here just last year. It's about a year ago. So you saw what happened after the stock split. Not good. I mean, before the split, it was like, well, it wasn't $9, excuse me. But even after the split, it was in the dollars, $4 or $5.
It fell after the split. It did not succeed.
Don't look at these numbers above before the split. So let me go over to this other chart. It's a lot easier to see. So this is the 1 hour chart. And this is probably what caught whoever I don't know who requested this one, but this is probably what caught their eye. This was last Friday. It spiked up to 18 cents, and now we're currently at 9. So
Right.
that's 9 or 10. So that's
And what
a
day
50.
was that?
That was on Friday, the 26th of January.
Mhm.
Okay, went up to 18 cents. So it's kind of like, okay, we had this big surge in volume. I'm not sure what caused that. You probably read something and I wasn't paying attention, but um, it did spike up there, and now it's kind of
No,
finding its
no, there
little.
was nothing on that day.
Okay.
No news, no filings.
Okay. Well,
One of those
something
mystery bumps.
maybe someone knew something because we had one
Wow.
here and then we had one here, and now we're below the 200 again on the 1 hour chart. So, yeah. It's obviously this is due to the volume because you can see every time we get a little bit more volume here, even this day on Tuesday, kind of came up.
Are your oscillators
Calibrated?
calibrated?
No, no, these are not. Not this one
Oh,
down.
I was going to say that bottom one's looking juicy, and I
There
can
we go.
barely see it, but I can sense heat.
There we go.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
looking
because
like
let's
pretty
zoom in a
powerful.
little more. Let's zoom into the 15-minute. So see, it's
Yeah,
coming
it
up a
doesn't
little.
look like it doesn't look promising. It doesn't even
Mm-mm.
look like it's worth a watch. It looks like it's on a downtrend right now and needs something to happen for us to consider watching it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very strange.
and
So
that was one heck
whatever
of a
that news
run.
was.
Yeah, for no catalyst. My goodness.
Yeah, the volume is what's making this move. Even here, moved a little bit. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just been downtrending. I mean, after that high of 18 cents, we're now down below 10 cents again. Yee.
Yeah, Jag falls
Mhm.
off of my watch list right now. It was getting long. I need to make room.
Okay.
You can't watch everything. Seriously, your watch list can only show you so much without you having to scroll.
Right.
I know we're looking for stuff to come to the top, but you can miss out on a lot of good buys for the stuff that's at the bottom. You know, things are hitting lows, and those are buying opportunities for you.
Yeah.
So, what do we got next?
Next.
Yes, this is
Eight.
number 4,
Okay.
5. This is number 5 in our list, ticker ACET, Adicet Bio. I'm going to presume this is a biotech. She finished today at $3.09 and 3.3% gains up. She went up about a dime. Another one on the NASDAQ. Gotta love these NASDAQ stocks. I find that's what I primarily end up looking at. There must be a lot of heat on the NASDAQ. So, what did I find to share? Right. Let's look at disclosures. All of these. I think that's me. I think I can close somebody who's making a lot of noise. That's my Discord group screaming.
I was gonna
Right.
say I'm not.
That was me. So there's good news right there, right? Our SC13Gs. Now, both of these have A's at the end. That means they're amended. That means that they didn't just happen. They happened some time back and they had to fix something in them. I don't know what they fixed, but basically one is from BlackRock and one is from a biomed. So BlackRock is just an investor brokerage, which is good. They see value in the company and they're investing in it. And the other one is a biomed company that's working with a biomed company. So I'm figuring there's something else going on there. BlackRock got about 5%. The biomed got about 10 or 12%, if I remember correctly. Then we got a bunch of Form 4s here. Form 4s can be good. These are filed whenever the insiders acquire or dispose of the company's stock. Now, they can do that in a lot of different ways, but what we're interested in is when they buy them and when they sell them personally. Well, all of these, they did something, but only 2 of them are buys and purchases. And they're buys. They're big buys, as a matter of fact. I think I've got these open. This actually happened on the 25th. We've got 3 buys here, all on the 25th. Added up, we've got 1, 2, 3. We got over 3 million shares there being bought by Carl Gordon, which is a 10% owner at least. He's a director in the company. Another insider is a Orb Med Advisors. They also are over 10% owners and directors, and they got themselves about 3 million shares. And they tell us, I found this interesting. I always like to look when I see a footnote, this little number right there. I think It will take you right to it. Or you can just scroll on down to the bottom of all these squares. And this is what it tells you the reason, whatever their footnote is. These shares of the issuer's common stock were
Oh,
purchased in the
okay.
issuer's underwritten public offering. So this shows you where they're buying their shares. And a public offering was shares that got put onto the market, lifted our float, but these people, investors, came in and bought a whole bunch of those shares right off of the market immediately. So that did affect the price. That there. So, and what day was this?
Yeah, when was that?
This was on the 25th.
Okay.
So both of them bought 3 million shares. So you're looking at 6 million shares, but there
Okay.
were three separate purchases, and they may have staggered them out through the day. Uh, when big purchases are made by big companies, they know that they need to stagger out purchases. You just can't drop these massive amounts, especially on the smaller exchanges. Nobody's going to buy all of that at one time. So you got to dwindle it out there a little bit at a time. So we got all that going on right there. There was insider investments. Orbimed here, they were the ones that got 13%. That's what I said. So there is activity and attention being made. What was the relative volume around the company? Virtually the same, almost 1.69 to 1.66 million shares. Share structure for the company? Well, I don't know if they've added in the new shares or not, but right now we are at about 43 million, which ain't bad for an outstanding share count because our float isn't higher than that. So that's looking good. Market cap 129 million for those of you who follow market caps. Financials for this bio. Oh, they're not just research and development, but it doesn't look like they're producing products. And the way I say that is because if you have a factory, you're paying for electricity, you're paying for boxes and bottles and all sorts of equipment. There's no expense here. So it's either consultancy, digital products, something I'm unaware of, but they're getting to keep every dime they make. It doesn't cost them anything to make their money. That's the kind of money I like to make. They're not showing anything here for quarters, but that doesn't mean they didn't file. It just means they don't show up for this NASDAQ stock. Cash in the bank. What do they got? Just under $200 million in the bank. 233, is that right? That's right. 233 million in assets. Not very many liabilities. 38.5 million. So we've got just shy of 200 million stockholder equity in this company. Good for us. Disclosures, we looked at those. We looked at everything, didn't we? Yes, we did. I'm so anal. I've got a system, and when I don't follow it, I don't know where I'm at half the time. All right, Taylor, pick up the ball for me so I can get oriented again.
Okay. I was going to ask you if you saw anything from June because this is what happened that day.
All right, you
Um,
show the chart, and I'll dig around.
yeah, I was just looking. So it opened the day after whatever news that was, the 26th, because it opened the 27th at 385 and then closed at around 211. So that's a huge drop. I don't know what happened, but if you look closely, what do we see here again?
Oh, that's a
Yeah,
cup and bowl,
you like
a,
that?
a bowl and hand, a cup and handle.
Yeah, I see
I
that too.
see
I
it.
like that.
I've got two charts up. I'm looking over here
Oh,
for
sorry.
information. Something came out that day. Um,
Yeah,
they
so
had positive data come out on that day of surge that you're showing there. They had a big
this day.
run there. Well, it was June 26th. The company reported positive data for ongoing ADI phase 1 trial.
Well, the very next day it dumped off hardcore.
Profit
So
takers.
that was a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of deal. But now
And
it's
I
starting to
always
pick
say
up.
that with these biotechs. Phase
Yeah.
1 is so early in the game, they've still got at least 3 to 5 years to go before they get to the finish line to sell this drug. This is just for safety. It's not going to kill anybody. You're not going to get perpetual diarrhea from it. So, what you can expect is, yeah, people got excited about the good news. And then everybody who's been in this for so long waiting for some good news finally sees the stock move. What do? I want to get out. I want out of this thing. I'm not waiting around. And then it comes right back down, and you got to wait for the next phase trial. Good news. And it's going to happen all over again. A pump
Hmm.
and a jump. But it's not fake. It's just short lived.
Yeah, because it had a big surge the day before they announced the news, and it went up to 550. So now we're down around $3 again. So this area that I have shaded was the gap when it closed that day and then opened up the next day. It opened up way down here. So if we can
Wow.
fill this, then we're good.
I'm getting good vibes from that chart.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is like deja vu. That is so similar to the chart you first showed us.
It is. It's very similar. It's very,
It
very
really
similar.
is. I had to look up at the top and it's like,
It is
well,
it. This is the one. ACET. I
yeah,
promise.
you're
Mhm.
right. And it is looking juicy to me. It really looks
Yeah.
like whether it is the second cup or this is the bounce off of the handle, she's ready to go. In my mind, she's ready to,
Uh,
take some gains.
yeah. This is a really nice setup. It's very similar to that other one, like eerily
Yes,
similar.
it is. It's
Yeah.
related,
So
but
we
you
mhm,
find that I was noticing when you look at stocks in the major exchange, New York to New York, NASDAQ to NASDAQ,
mhm.
they're all following a pattern. It is
That's
amazing how
pretty
many
good.
stocks you can find, and they all look like brothers and sisters. It's like, why are they all doing that together? Use it to your
That's just
advantage.
market sentiment. That's just following market sentiment then. So that might not have anything to do with this because you're right. It did look very similar to that other NASDAQ stock that we looked at a minute ago. So very similar setup. I really like this one. We're gonna have to push through this gap though. That's the main point. But that's a lot of room to run. That's a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
room.
Just between there and the gap is a take.
Mhm. Oh yeah, that's a ton. That's
And I think
50%.
she's heading for it. That's my
Mhm.
opinion. I'm not licensed, and my wizardry is just a sticker on the wall. I really don't have any powers, but it looks good to me.
Right, but this pattern right here, this is another cup and handle. Very nice setup. I like this one. That's the 4 hour. Okay. Ding.
I'm here. Yes, I am. All right. This is the last stock in our queue. This is Jet Black, ticker JTBK. That makes it easy to remember that ticker. Obviously, everything's caught up here. We got a pink. Oh, I think this is the first pink we've looked at. Sometimes we get a slew of them. Pink is the bottom tier on the OTC, the most dangerous, the ghetto stocks. I'm not saying they're all not trustworthy. I'm just saying you got to watch your P's and Q's. It's your money. Pay attention down here. You could get robbed very easily. We finished today at 0034. We were up 17.25%. We do have that validated information. Whew, that makes me feel better. This information is being validated by the OTC markets, by the way. The OTC markets is on the OTC. You can invest in them if you want. That's where I do all my due diligence. This is their business. This is where these companies have to report to bring all this information to the OTC market. And they validated information here. So I like that fact. So Jet Black Core, what do we got going here? Jet Black Core is a forward-thinking company focused on carbon capture, aquaponics, and sustainable energy production. I'm already confused. The company's mission is to produce carbon negative products while promoting local sustainable food production. I'm going to stop right there because I've got an image in my mind now. At least I've got a clue what's going on here. We've got some current news. When did this news come out? Let's just jump over here. I don't want to lose my highlights. That came out today. So this is the most important stuff. We'll take a look at that. Jet Black Core acquires 30% stake in Intrinsic Methods. The company announces they have executed a definitive agreement to acquire 30% equity stake in Intrinsic Methods in exchange for 60 million shares of restricted Jet Black common stock. Restricted. Now, I highlighted something here because it sounded really good at first. The CEO of Jet Black has agreed to cancel 15 million shares every 12 months of his personal holdings to coincide with the issuance for the total of 60 million restricted shares, which will result in no change to the outstanding share count. Well, okay, great. All right. Well, he is making a sacrifice. He's covering it. We aren't going to have a change in our share count, but we would have. Those shares would have gone on there, and he's equating that. That's what I'm gathering out of this. He's absorbing the punch here. And we're getting 30% stake in a new company. Intrinsic Methods' goal is to be the gold standard of voluntary carbon credits. With its exclusive partnership with patented tree growing technology, provider root maker and its certified growers, along with its proprietary offset platform built on Ripple's XRP ledger. That's the cryptocurrency. And finally, with direct access to reforestation projects, Intrinsic Method has set the groundwork to be a leader in nature-based offsets. I would have to do a little more study here. I know they're talking carbon credits. I know they're using forestry behind it. There are some companies out there that own trees in the Amazon, and that is their business, owning that tree, because they get so many carbon credits for that tree because it sucks out so much carbon. It's such a big tree. It's a silly world, isn't it? So I would have to dive into this to see exactly what is going on here with this company. Let's see if we got any other information here. This is November. Took a long time to get there, but they were talking about it for a couple months, and it looks like it's a done deal. Now, let's see if we have any disclosures over here to back that deal up. Not yet. Not yet. I would like to see some filings over here to back the deal up. I always say with Pinch, the filings are the concrete. The news is the sand. Sand can move around, and they move it around a lot. So be careful. Sounds great to me right now. Can't say I don't like what I've read, but I don't see any filings since 2019. Just saying. Deals are made without filings, and that is because of the tier they're on for reporting. They don't have to report everything if they're on the lowest tier. That means we have to take their word for everything. That's the scary part. All right, let's see what we got for relative volume for the company today. 3 times their normal volume. Not huge numbers, but it's a 300% increase from 330,000 to 960,000. Why are the numbers? That one big number has just rocked me. I can't get back on balance. That's how rare those numbers are. Oh, come on now. Don't do it to me again. All right. We got 1.3 billion shares authorized. They've only got about a quarter of those on the market, 275 million. Good news is the insiders hold most of them, about 185 million. We get the rest, 89 million in the float, which isn't bad. Anything under 100 million really isn't bad. Can't complain. Oh, look at that market cap. For those of you who are really into them, that's pretty sad, isn't it? Less than 1,798,000. Financials, we got nothing on the annual, nothing on the quarterly. Uh-oh, that's the balance sheet we're looking at. We have nothing in the bank. We have nothing in assets. Total liabilities, doink, 2.2 million. That's what we get, even a little more than that. 2.6 million in deficit. And that's on the shareholders, not the company. When that sinks in, you understand why the price is so low. Look at the disclosures. Did I miss anything? No, because we were already over here. No filings. That's what we said. So there you go, folks. Jet Black. Now, I don't know the history of this. I don't know if she recently came on the market. Maybe Taylor, jumping back on the charts, can see. For some reason, I've got in my mind that I covered some news about this at some point in the past, and I'm just not remembering what it was. Like maybe she fell off the NASDAQ down to the pink or something. I don't know.
I didn't look at this one because I didn't see any dates. So I might have before, but no.
No, but I may have covered it on my video.
You might have.
I cover 45 in a month. So that's going to be, and just while you're here, folks, I want to make mention of that. My videos have been very long. I've been doing this for 2 years, and I try to give you as much valuable information in each video as I can, not just about the stock, but about tips on trading, facts about the OTC. You know, I want you to learn this stuff as much as you can. Well, it's been too much. I got like 3,000 subscribers, and I'm only getting 100 to 200 views per video, which is like 80 cents to $1.60 a video. That's what I make, 80 cents for every 100 views. So in hopes of getting more viewers, I've made my videos shorter. One video stock per video, about 15, 18 minutes. But I'm still giving you valuable information in there. So there's been a change in format, but everything is really still the same. So you're going to have a lot more links out there, but I guess that tallies out to only 30, 40 stocks maybe a month, because I can only do 2 a day now instead of 3 because of all the extra work. But I appreciate you guys hanging with me nonetheless. All right, let's take a look at the chart for JTBK. Let's start off with the long picture there. I'm
Yep.
real interested to see if this was up higher, if it was, I
Oh
know they
yeah.
don't show us if it was on the NASDAQ. They don't have a blue line. This is when it came on the OTC. That would be nice on the
It's
charts.
been way higher. So it's been, 3 cents, 4 cents. I didn't see any stock splits, so it has been.
Where are you at? Try the
You said you
3 year.
wanted to see how high it went, so I was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
looking.
Well, I know I've heard of this stock. Do you got a 3 year button on there to see if she came on the market in the last 3 years?
5 years. This is 5 years.
Oh, and it's
Yeah,
tough because
it's been on here since like 2008. It's been on here a while.
and a lot higher.
Yeah, a lot higher.
Yeah, we're
Let's
just
go
seeing
back.
the chandelier string.
Okay, so I was looking at this area for consolidation.
Yeah,
This is between, 5.5 to 6.5 cents, and followed it along, and this actually came up right to that. So I liked that. It's like it's trying, but I don't like what it's doing lately. Oh, 4 hour. It doesn't matter. That was the 2 hour. Sorry about that. So I saw this area of consolidation. I dragged this over and it did come up to it, but it did not stay. It did not hold. So
yeah,
let's see what
barely
it did.
touched it.
Yeah, it kind of came up, but then it just immediately came back. But that was because of all this volume. So when this volume comes in, just like anything else, it's going to move. So the low that I've identified is 0015, and right now we're at 0037. So that's more than 100% move from the low. So that's
Hmm.
that's good.
Hmm.
Um, so on the 1 hour chart, um, I mean, it is showing potential to move, but right now I feel like this is bearish. And see if we can bounce off this. This is 003. If we can bounce off of this, I think we can maybe sustain it. I'd like to see it back in this area, this shaded area where we had all that consolidation before.
You got a
Um,
lot of lower highs there, don't
a
you?
lot of them,
Stairs up
yeah.
and down.
So right now I feel like it's bearish, but I don't hate it. I think this is something to yeah, to watch if we can get above that, like 0055, 0056. If we can hang out in here for a little while, and it might have some potential to move. But as of right now, I don't really, really love it personally. But what do you think?
No, I'm in agreement there. It's on. I think it's going to bounce more on that 200. That's what it's doing.
Okay, yeah. I marked
And,
off
and right,
this
right now, it looks like
03.
because of all the SMAs are coming down hard on it right
They
now.
are, especially this one. This is
Yeah, so I think she's gonna at least hit the 200. But she
we're
looks
very
like
close to
every
that.
time she hits it, she gets smashed underneath it a little bit. But she's a fighter. Every time she
Hmm.
starts to come back up, she pushes strong. So if you're into
Yep,
that sort of thing, you can watch her for the bounce and catch her on that ride
for
back up.
sure. Hmm. Yep.
That's my 2 cents.
Okay.
All right, now we are outside, so I haven't done any pre-looking. Obviously, though, I know something about iQuesto. However, it's been a long time since I've actually followed iQuesto, but she keeps
Okay.
popping up on the radar. This is ticker IQST. She finished today at 21.5 cents. Had a pretty decent
Good.
day, up 13.5% on the best tier of the OTC, the QX. Quickest way to say it, they give you as many filings as if you're on the NASDAQ or the major exchange like the New York Stock Exchange. They give you everything. So they're the most transparent, most trustworthy. All these green ticks are excellent. This here, though, this should really set you at ease. Penny stock exempt means they've been in business for 3 to 5 years, have had millions of dollars in either revenues or assets during that time period, and they've kept up with their filings. In other words, they're responsible, steady. You can count on them to do what they're supposed to do. They're here for a reason and they're doing it. So they look great. So let's see what we got here for news. First viewing for me. So let's take a look here. Lots of discussion about money. Announces 100 million year to date. Revenues are growing. That's what they're talking about. Boom, boom, boom. We start at 10 million, 100 million, 110 million, 145. Revenue increases by 50% to 150 million, delivering revenue per share of 81 cents. Stock is at 21 cents. I see a lot of companies that do this. They actually do the books and they say, our accountant says our stock is worth this much, plain and simple. And then you look at the price and go, Well, holy cow, that's an 86% difference. We're going to climb to that. It doesn't. I see it over and over again. Big one that does it is HNRC. Over and over again. We refuse to push it up. I thought it was something personal, honestly, because of their WDHI shares still not being out over a year later. Urgh. But I've seen it on other stocks. So I don't know. I see they've got some sort of deal here. I'm actually going to have to dive into this. I have no idea what this is. iQuest CEO presents acquisition of QXTEL as hockey stick growth curve event. Okay. He spelt it wrong. He says it's an acquisition. What is going on here? Following the acquisition of this company yesterday, the letter is intended to provide further details on the acquisition. Well, here you go, resulting in a hockey stick growth curve event. The acquisition of I don't even know how to pronounce that, folks. Binding purchase agreement. They acquired 51% of this new company, which is supposed to say announce a deal to become a $250 million revenue corporation. I normally overlook these billion-dollar things because they're always telling you the market size that they're entering. We're entering a $63 billion market. It's supposed to catch your eye. Big deal. You're doing nothing in that market. I'm not impressed. They're saying they're going to be doing $250 million, which is $250 million. And we're seeing about $140 million right now. Let's see here. Brings division of iQuest becoming a $1 billion company. There's a lot here, folks. Lots of numbers. Come on, this is my kind of piece of news. I feel sad we've got to walk away from this. There's lots of great information here. Revenue per share increase, 75% to 81. Earnings over year. I would come over here and dive into this not right now. Wait till we're done. Taylor and I want you to stick with us. But that's hot news right there, folks. And that came out a week ago. But if you're looking for catalysts, this seems to be something going on. What other news we got? I don't think there was anything else. Take a look at disclosures. Anything solid over there? Love me filings. Yeah, we've got an 8K and an 8K amended. You never know when the 8K amended was for. Disclosure, shareholder presentation. That's for the news that we were just looking at. Shareholder presentation. So it was the same one. Oh, by golly, by gosh. I still got one up there. I do. It's over here though. IQST. Oh, IQST. My bad. Closed too many windows. Is there any other 8Ks there? There was. I thought there was another one there. A lot of 8Ks. 51%. Okay, so all of these seem to be talking about this deal. So you've got lots of filings here that got lots of information. You've got a news press there that had lots of numbers, facts, hard facts. That's what I look for. I hate generalities when you come to stocks. And we're talking to QX. It figures. Pinks don't like to give you facts. They like to give you speculation. And we like to play with speculation. Stocks on speculation run. I don't know why. Stocks with facts fall. I don't know why.
Buy the rumor, sell the news.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling to me. So that's really hot news that we're looking at a stock here that should be up 400% by their accounting, and they put it out there, and they're on the QX, the most trustworthy type of company you can be investing in. Maybe we should be listening to them. Let's see what we got for relative volume here. Somebody's listening. Volume's up from 400,000 to 1 million. Share structure, fingers crossed. That's not bad. 173 million. Insiders only got 6.5 million. That's surprising. And we get all the rest, 166 million. Yeah, it's an okay one. Better than $1 billion. Just keep saying that. Better than $1 billion. Financials, every year is catapulting higher than the year before. 18, 44, 64, $93 million. But what the heck is that? Out of $93 million, they're taking home $1.7 million. They got to spend $91 million to make 93. Sounds like overkill to me. I'm not happy with that. They're not in the red. They're in the black, but come on. So every 3 months, they do $40 million and they get to keep $1 million. Things are getting better. Things are getting better. I think they were upset too. They're starting to tweak this. But still, back here they did 21 million, made 1.3. Here they make twice as much and they're not making as much. Here they made less than $1 million. They got to work on this formula. That doesn't excite me. So what do they got on their balance sheet? Only 2 million in the bank, 18 million for assets, half of that for liabilities, which means we should get close to half, almost 9 million for stockholder equity. We're not holding a bag here. We do have some stockholder equity. Disclosures, we've been over here. We had lots of them. We've been through those. Don't get confused. Right. So we've covered everything here. This is looking good, folks. There's a lot of great information that you need to do some more looking in. The volume seems to be increasing right now. We'll see on the chart if it's been increasing since the news came out, which was on the 26th, the 24th. Let's take a look at that chart.
Yep. So this is what you're talking about here, the 24th. So I marked off some levels here that I like.
Yeah.
So this was the 24th. This is on the
Yep.
4-hour chart. So we reached a high of almost 22 or approximately 22 cents. Right now we're at about 21 cents. So I'd like to see that one. And then I marked off around 23 cents and then again at about 25 and 26. So I like those. And then way up here we have 33. And that was the high from like last summer. We could definitely get up there, but see, we almost have that cup and handle again, sort of a little awkward cup and handle, but right now it looks kind of like a bull flag.
Well, that's because it's not fully on the NASDAQ. It's on the QX. It's just
oh, that's
nudging us
right.
against
That's
the
right.
property
Oh,
line.
you're right. You're right. Yeah, it says OTC here, so my
Right.
bad.
but I see it too.
Yeah.
They're trying to copycat their neighbors and they're getting
Yeah.
close.
So yeah, that news that came out definitely sparked a lot of interest. You can tell the
Yeah.
volume went up. You can tell that this popped. I mean, all the way from 15 to 22 cents. I mean, that's quite a bit. That's quite a jump. That was in one day.
30%.
And then we kind of just went off and it stayed
the
though. It
200.
stayed right around the 200, yeah, on the 4 hours. So it stayed right around there. And then we got a second surge today.
Well, if you fall back on the general rule that rarely do you have a first break through the 200 be the one that runs. That's not normal. You normally get a fallback and a bounce to make sure it's strong. And that's falling into the category on your last chart. He was bouncing off the 200.
Right. Yeah, on the 4 hour. Now,
Yeah. So she's actually doing what she should and doing it very well.
Mm-hmm. The 1 hour looks even better. Look at this. So we've had this curling up here. This just looks freaking nice, but I would love to see it above 22. Then we can see 23,
nice.
25, 26, and then maybe 33. That would be.
I'm going to make that a bumper sticker. Freaking nice.
Freaking nice. Yeah. So this is definitely showing some life. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's looking similar to a rocket stock right now, which are always scary. You don't know how much fuel they have before they come crashing back down. But, if she's going to bounce off of the 200, then probably where she's going to bounce when she comes back down. So now you've got your eyes open, preparing for the buy-in, hoping she plays into you and you not playing into her. Don't get dragged around by the chart. You wait for the chart to be where you want it to be. You got all the time in the world. The chart will keep moving. You sit still. Wait.
Yeah. Okay. We did have a request for toner. A couple of people.
I got it up.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
There we go.
Trying to accommodate as many as I can with the time we got. It's 5:13. For those of you that have to get home because the street lights just came on, or your wife's calling you for dinner, or you've just been here long enough, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you next week. Anybody else who wants to hang around, we have no rental to pay here. So let's mosey on. I covered Toner just the other day because it's been a hot stock. She is in a hot sector, AI. She does work with NFTs, cryptocurrencies, the fintechs. But since AI, she has made a turn. We've talked about this before, I think.
We've talked about it several times.
Yes. Because of Maddie. Maddie is their AI trading assistant for the common everyday investor, not your big corporate enterprises. This is going to be AI that's going to help us. Now, I think it's funny, but it gets the point across. They say here, hey, Maddie, buy 100 shares of Tesla. Great. She can perform tasks. Your computer can perform tasks. Alexa performs tasks. That's not what AI is for. AI is to be accumulating data and creating strategies that it can predict to benefit whoever's using it. That is what AI is for. Maddie is going to be our assistant. And the more she's out there, the more we use her, the more she's going to learn, the better she's going to get. And she won't just be placing trades for you. She'll be hunting, finding, searching, presenting, maybe advising you one day. I know I'm projecting, but we are talking AI. Well, they have been working on this. First, they came out with the product. Then they came out with a virtual human technology. So now you're not chat boxing it, typing. It's not like Alexa and they're talking to you. No, you're looking at a person, a real person as far as your sensors are convinced, talking to you with a real human voice, probably say a few times just to make it sound real. And they're going to be helping you, talking to you about your trades. Folks, this is exciting. I mean, talk about invisible lovers. This is what I'm looking for. Someone who's interested in what I'm trading and is helping me. Help me. So this is great. Then we had a shareholder letter come out here. And this is telling us that they are going to make a merger now between two candidates. One candidate is already making money, $120 million they did last year. The other one has a proprietary technology that they can implement on their own AI and put it out there on other platforms. As it is right now, they're only on MetaTrader. They could get this out on places like Amazon, Zoom, Google Meet. More platforms, the more exponential growth you get. The more she'll learn, the more they're going to be able to do. They haven't told us which one that they're going to do. Now, I remember since I just covered this, if you had just requested this, I'd have probably missed it. But in either case, concurrently, we are in discussions and negotiations with both AI companies to include a significant share buyback as a central part of the final plan. So whichever way they go, bringing revenues in or opening up the market, they're going to do a share buyback. So we're going to have a catalyst on the merger. We're going to have a catalyst maybe on the revenue potential or the actual revenues acquired. And we're going to have a share buyback giving us real shareholder value on that stock, which currently is at 0013. Now it says she didn't move today. I'm going to bet, I didn't look at her, but I'm going to bet she moved today. She just probably ended up back where she started. She's on the pink tier. She's current. Got the validated information. It's the best you can get it on a pink. Unless, now they say she's a shell risk. I want to check a couple of things here. First, a pink can move their status up. I always say that this is the only validated information you get. If they are reporting their financials with 10Ks, then they have voluntarily pushed themselves up to reveal more information to us. And the 10Ks you can trust. Again, you must have a CPA go through a 10K. I don't see any 10Ks here. Whoa, wait a minute. It's 2016. I think they fell. But in either case, now the other thing I wanted to check was their money. They say they're a shell risk, meaning they're in business, but they're not making any money. And this is what I was worried about. They say they're involved with all these other things, yet we've never seen anything come from any of that. Even being digital, you should be making some money and not having to pay anything for it. Just get to keep what you're making. Now, if they are involved with NFTs, cryptocurrency, fintech, and AI, there's a strong likelihood they could put that AI to work on those other sectors. They could create NFTs made by AI. I've been making artwork. And let me tell you what, I will never believe a single thing I see again. I will never. The videos I have seen are fake. I could not tell you they were fake unless they told me. Planes crashing looked totally real to me. I saw Biden and Trump getting along, eating dinner at a table. It looked perfectly real to me. I will never believe another thing again. And I don't know if we'll ever believe anything we can hear or see without doing our due diligence behind it. I'm not kidding, folks. The world is changing now. Relative volume around toner, it's up, going from 106 million to 169 million. Share structure. Please, oh, please, oh, please. Oh, shoot. It's a lot. We got 7 billion shares. They have the insiders about 330 million. We get all the rest, 6.6 billion. Got to worry about those reverse splits when they start pushing towards a penny. We have seen it over and over again. Sub-penny stocks running up, getting towards a penny, bink, they do a reverse split. And half the time, there's not even a notice. No press release, no filing. That's not true. There was a filing 8 months, 9, 10 months ago when they had a shareholder meeting and voted it and approved it for discretion of the manager, which means he can use it anytime he wants and he doesn't have to say a bloody word. So one day you wake up and your shares are gone. It's just that quick. Take it from a guy who knows all about reverse splits. I've got 61 of them under my belt now for the last 18 months. I am really watching these pinks with dead eyes right now. Let's see what else we can learn here. Financials. Did we go here? Yeah, it was sad. They had nothing coming in. And we have an 8K here. This is from the 22nd. I'm sure this has to do with everything that's going on right now. Yeah. They had a interview on Twitter, which is how I initially found this information, was going through the filings. I look at filings first because that's stuff that's real. It's already done. It's been watched by somebody who says, we put that on the books. This told us that they were getting into a merger with AI companies, one in Malaysia or one in Singapore, which they don't mention Malaysia or Singapore in the article, in that news press. So you got to jump around to get all the bits and pieces that you really need to know. All right, so I like Toner. She's got a lot of potential right now because of the merger and the share buyback, and that's going to be bringing revenues onto the table one way or another, which they absolutely need. My biggest fear is that reverse split. All right, did that buy you enough time to get that?
Oh, yeah, we've looked at this one several times.
Yeah, I know.
You want to look at this? Okay,
Yeah,
so this is probably one
wow.
of the hottest stocks that we've looked at. So you can see here around April until the end of November, it was just between 0001 and 0002 for months and months and months. And then someone brought it to our attention on the December 7th, and it had jumped up to the between 0002 and 0003, and it was like that for a while.
And all we
Then
have to
we
do is
started
go back and
really
look at the video
moving.
and find out. I bet
Oh
you it
yeah,
was Velmore way back then. My
yeah.
money's on Velmore. It could have been
It
Underdog. You never know.
Yeah, and so, these arrows are just the days that we looked at them. I just like
Yep.
to see for reference what we were looking at.
Wow. Being
Yeah.
anal, you're my kind of girl. I mean, you're right up my
Yeah, I
street.
like to point out when we looked at them, so it gives us a better idea of what we're looking at today. So, I remember having this level marked off for the longest time, 001, and we definitely got above that, and we're at 0015 for the high. Now, it did close. The reason it didn't say there was any movement today is because it closed at about 0013, and that's about where it is now yesterday, and it's closed at about the same today as it did yesterday. So that's why, even though it opened up down here, it's saying 001,
I
but
tried to scan my chart. I was scanning your chart to open it up to look at it.
oh,
It
I
said,
was like,
that's not
what?
my chart. That's the screen.
Oh, okay, let's drop down to an hour. So, these were the other days we looked at it. Let's see. This was the other
Yeah,
day.
that looks like Dip City to me. I really don't think everything's getting too far from everything right now.
It's very, very far, yeah, and
Yeah.
so, it's kind of just here. It didn't show any movement because yesterday was its big move, and Tuesday, so Tuesday and
Yeah.
yesterday. So it's just kind of been hanging out ever since there, and it did close at 0013, so it's still staying there. It could definitely come back to 001, absolutely, I
Yeah.
think, and then
I'd be looking for it at least 001, honestly.
yeah.
That's what I'd be expecting. And I wouldn't be surprised to see it come back to the 50, which is where the run began. So she may come right back, but that would still be constituted as an uptrend.
Yeah.
Even though she comes all the way back down to the 50, you're still on an uptrend. Now you've got a buying opportunity because all these catalysts are still on the table. You're looking for a cheap price to get in before all this happens. So now is actually a good time to watch her. See how far down she comes. If you missed getting in on the last run, maybe there's a second one you can get into early.
Mhm.
Doesn't
just
look
be
pretty right
careful.
now.
Yeah, just be careful because it can easily drop down to that 0005, and if you got in at 001, that's 50% loss. So just be really careful about that.
Bite your
But
tongue. Eat soap, young lady. 0005.
it did. Look at this. This was just
You're
last
right.
week.
I mean, it does exist. That it's not
In fact, this was this
non-existent.
week,
That's
Monday.
why
It
you're
did
here.
that.
Keep it real.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying it could, so just be careful. But I mean, the fact that it was down 0001 to 0002 and then to 0003 for months and months and months, and now it's starting to run, that's pretty amazing. This was like the hottest
Yes.
stock that we've seen in a
That's what I
while.
said in my video the other day. That's
Mhm.
not only an impressive chart, it's a peculiar chart. You rarely see a run from under 0005. You see a
Unbelievable.
bounce, but you don't see a run. So
Yeah.
that's a very hot chart. If you're not watching this chart, you're not a day trader.
This is a great chart. I've loved looking at this. I mean,
There's
when
going
we
to be a
first
lot
looked
more
at it, I
plays
was
on
like,
it,
it's
though.
barcodey, but now it's been every level I said needs to get above it just goes above it. So this is incredible. If you were able to get in even just when we first started looking at it, 0003 up to 0013, that's how many percent gains?
I
300?
was actually looking at GVSI getting ready because I know you're about.
Okay, yeah, your turn. Yeah, like 300% gains, even if you got in
Well,
late.
I
That's
looked at it
amazing.
yesterday, so the numbers are still in my head. From the low to the high yesterday, which was 0014,
0015? Mhm.
close. Yeah, we were 1,400%.
Nice.
And then 7 days ago, it was a 700% run.
Nice.
It may have even been just 5 days ago, but in either case, she's hot. And even if
Definitely.
she dips, as far as I'm concerned, her catalysts are still on the table roasting. She's still got a lot of heat. You're looking for a buying opportunity on a stock that's already taken off. Wait, oh, you're waiting for me? I got it. I got it.
Oh, yeah, you're up next.
I got a ticket. All right. So, Toner, I covered it. We all like it. It's definitely a day trader stock. She's got a lot of potential, but I wouldn't say jump into it right now. Watch for a buying opportunity. Maybe all the way back down to the 50. Maybe not. That's why we watch it. So I'm going to get to a stock here that it turns out, and I have seen this happen a couple times. Underdog said he was here first, and he gave us ticker GVSI. Now, first off, I've seen Underdog. You've seen Underdog here many a times first. We've also seen Kashera and Belmore here first, but their comments disappear. And then somebody jumps ahead of them. And it's
Sorry
not
about that, Underdog. I didn't see it.
It's not there. It
Okay.
disappeared. And it's not his fault. It happens often again. So I'm going to do GVSI right now because
Okay.
first come, first served. Well, we're in an upside down world today, but at least it's fair. I'm getting to it. Now, thank goodness I am vaguely familiar with what's going on here because I just made a comment about the chart the other day. It was somewhere in the middle of the day. I think it was yesterday. This took off running.
Oh, yeah.
When I see a chart running, I go and look at the news. There is no news. There is no filings. Now, I remember because I tweeted about this and I was getting into an argument with a few people. This is a company that is run by George Sharp. George Sharp and I are not on talking terms. George Sharp has blocked me. He's called me names publicly. He's been quite rude to me. Yes, he has. He called me stupid because I was talking another stock up when he likes to talk other companies down. George Sharp says he's fighting for the OTC investors. He's the righteous warrior out there for us. When all I see him really doing is tearing other companies down and not doing anything with his own companies. Well, this is his. Good vibration shoes. There hasn't been any filings. Well, instead of just telling you because I posted it, there hasn't been any filings in years. 2021. News. There hasn't been any news since 2016. I did a Google search. I did a Twitter search. There is absolutely nothing out here. I noticed I posted about this the last time it ran. Said basically the same thing. We got a ghost runner again. She's taking off without any catalyst. And then there's always someone says, catalyst? What do you mean there's no catalyst? This is blah, blah, blah. That's not a catalyst. A catalyst is something that's happening right now that's propelling the company in the stockholders, the investors' view of gaining value. This isn't gaining value. It's jumping. Now, I don't know if it's a pump and dump. I don't know if someone has started to rush it. Maybe you wait for the chart to be just. I've seen this a lot. The chart sets up. I look for charts with heat. That's my thing. And then this chart will start to break out. And as soon as it breaks out, a big piece of news comes out. And I see that over and over. And it's like, I think management times these pieces of news to go with these breakouts. And then if you do more research, you may find most of them are pinks, and most of the news they posted never came to fruition. That happens a lot. Deals are broken, canceled, they aren't followed through. For whatever reason, pinks do that a lot. And I keep bringing it up because I don't want you losing as much money as I have, folks. These last 2 years, the pinks have been deadly. Before that, I guess they were just under cloak and nobody was being hurt, so we were having fun with them. Now the wolves have pulled down their shirts and we're getting bit a lot. Reverse splits everywhere. And then they start to throw the shares back on the market with public offerings. So it's rough. So I haven't found anything with this company. I did do a search around. Let's see what the volume is on it. It's kicking. It's kicking, going from 4 million to almost 21 million with no catalyst. Let's check out the share structure. Lots of shares. We got 2.1 billion outstanding and 2.1 billion unrestricted. Yeah, the insiders own 11 million of them. Not very much. And that's George Sharp. He's the kit in caboodle here, guys. There are no employees. There's no secretary. You can go through the information if you want and read. It's all quite simple and easy to read. George Andrew Sharp. He is the guy. That's it. One-man team. One-man company, not doing any business, got no money, got no revenues. How do we know they got no revenues? Because it says no revenues. Balance sheet. Nothing. No assets. No money in the bank. The only money that George Sharp makes off of this company is anytime the stock runs and he makes a sale or a friend of his makes a sale for him. I'm sorry, but that's what pump and dumps do. And when you see a stock run over and over again, but never make a change in what they're doing, that's a pump and dump. Now, in saying that, you're day traders. Who cares why it's running? Pump and dump or not? Watch the chart. If you can find an entry and get a run, get in there and take it. You're all the smarter for knowing what's going on, and you're not going to hang around for the ultimate plummet back down to earth. So that's my opinion. I think it's going to come back down. Wherever it started from, it's going to come back down. It does this over and over, and I can't explain it. And I've given you my opinion for whatever it's worth. Let's go take a look at the chart.
Okay. Whoops. Wait, what the heck happened? Okay. I don't know what happened.
You
Okay,
got to click it.
I have to click it. Okay.
Yeah, you got to click your own button on your own computer to say I'm ready.
I didn't know that you clicked me over. All right. So
see, look at that.
Saw a little bit this higher high,
Yeah.
equal, and then we got another one. And you can see the spikes in volume. Here's one, and it's going up over the 200. It came back down to it. Okay.
Right.
Here's another one, and then here's one. So looking at that, it looks pretty good. So let's drop it down to the 4 hour. So this is obviously what's been happening.
I'll look at the chart unbiasedly. That's what you got to do, because it's not about the company. It's not about the value. It isn't. For a day trader, it is all about the chart. Doesn't matter if the guy just got thrown in jail and the company's going bankrupt and going to be kicked off the NASDAQ. If the stock is running, finds a plateau before it takes off, who cares what's going on? It's all bad, but you're making money. That's what day traders do. So this chart right now, you got to keep your eye on it.
Yeah, I mean, it just jumped up, and you have to be super careful because, I mean, it went back down to 0076. I mean, just like not that long ago.
Right
here a few months ago. So, I mean, it could plummet right back down. I mean, I don't know what's going to go on with the news and stuff, but so yeah, this started running yesterday, and it's just been kind of here today. But
that doesn't look bad though. She's still on top of the 9, and she is showing signs of going sideways. When you're that far away from the 20-day SMA, you've got 2 things you can do to close that gap: fall or stop climbing and just go sideways and wait for everything to catch up to you, and then jump off like a springboard. And she shows signs of being patient. But in my opinion, I'm thinking we're going to see a turnaround and a comeback down.
It could absolutely come back and retest some of these levels here, down here, these EMAs or whatever. Yeah, I mean, but it looked pretty good to me on the daily chart, though. I really liked that here.
Look at the short chart for us, because it
Sure.
is going to be short-lived. That's the thing. But
This
how
is the
long?
15 minutes. So this is what's going on now. This is the 15-minute. So
Now,
this
there's a
was
perfect example right there. That first run, she went sideways until she hit the 20-day. Once she hit the 20-day, she decided to climb again. So
right.
I'm thinking that she might do that. Although that's interesting, the way she's come down to the 50 right now. Yeah,
This
that's
is the
interesting.
15-minute chart.
Yeah. I ignore the 15 a lot, but I see that the price really respects a lot of the 15-minute.
Yeah, I like the 15-minute chart personally.
Yeah,
Just to kind of it'll give you a little bit more information without, too much. Like I like to look at the daily
right.
chart first and all that, but the 15 minutes is a nice sweet spot for a lot of day traders too.
Mhm.
So, you know, keep that in mind. I do like the 15-minute chart, and this looks really nice.
Yeah, it
Could
shows
see another one.
organized growth. Even though it's
Mhm.
volatile, it is organized. So just because of that, I would watch the chart, but I'd be very cautious, because ultimately I think she's going to come down. Now I see everything is turning up. Our 200's turning up. I mean, it doesn't look that bad as a chart. For a day trader, the chart is worth considering. The company, in my opinion, no, no. And that's because not only do I see nothing in the company, I don't see a whole lot in the man behind the company. I used to jump for George Sharp, because he is out there. He's out there. He's done a lot for the OTC market. That hurt. He's done a lot for the OTC market in the past. Absolutely has. But now he just seems to be a lazy bully. That's just my opinion, so nobody can sue
Yeah.
me for slander.
No,
That's all I'm saying.
all good. Okay, I think that's about it for that one.
Well, we are after 5:30. We're approaching
Oh my
5:40. We have
gosh.
set a record today. Ding, ding, ding. We have never gone this long. You have just set history with us, folks. And
Hey,
if
it's
you
all
made
right.
it here, this must be. I remember, I bet none of you remember the Jerry Lewis telethon. He did it
I
for
do.
muscular dystrophy. He was up for 24 hours. The show came on and did not stop. No commercials, 24 hours of entertainment. We used to try to stay up as kids. Never made it. Never made it. We should do that here. Who's in? Raise your hand.
Me.
Uh, yeah, I bet. Sure, your husband would love that. I see we've got other stocks we didn't get to, folks. We did press the envelope here. IGPK, that's been a hot stock here, absolutely. FLES up 90%, 98% today. Folks, I don't know anything about it, but now that you know, maybe you want to take a look at it. SoFi, I have looked at SoFi before. These are catching people's attention, folks. You may want to consider these. Oh, not that one. Some of you got here late, really late. Wow, Gotti got here late. It does look like that. Thank you for showing up, Edward. Appreciate you being here. American Truther. William, let's see what he says about NMDM. Is a great long-term hold. They have more cash on hand than their market cap and are growing nicely. That's
Nice.
always a good measurement, folks. If you have more assets, more money in the bank than your market cap is, you know you're undervalued. That's a very simple metric right there. Thanks, American Truther. Appreciate that. And thank you, everybody. We appreciate you staying here. And if you're watching it after we've done it, I appreciate you watching it then. Thank you very much. Thanks for being here, Taylor. You're not going to be here next week, are you? You're going on another
Oh
vacation.
no, that's the 15th.
Oh, all right. Okay. Time is flying. I mean, it's already February, for
It
God's
is. Yeah,
sake.
it'll be the 15th I'll be gone, but next week I
February
should be
1st.
here.
I don't know why they came up with April Fools. It should have been February Fools. FF. It just seems right to me. I woke up today thinking it was April Fools, and it's like, why? Well, it's February. That's not the reason. Right. This is what happens when you get old. You have a lot of weird thoughts, and you wonder where they're coming
Well,
from.
tomorrow's Groundhog Day, so just so everyone knows.
Oh, I think I'll watch the movie just, to get it in sync.
Yeah, I love that
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, yeah. It wasn't a bad movie. Back when people were young, they're all old now. We're all old now. Thank you, folks. We appreciate you being here. And we're going to be here next week, Thursday, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. If I didn't get to your ticker, maybe you should get it in the queue early. I do put up a placeholder for this early. I always say lunchtime, but honestly, it's up like 10 in the morning, 11 in the morning.
It was up early today.
You can drop your ticker in then, even if you're not here. First come, first served. I'm going to cover that ticker, and it gives me time to go through the information and get things set up. You get more value, honestly. So I'm going to be looking forward to
subscribe to the channel. You can, it'll give you the notification that we're going live, and it'll show up that day. So you can come in early and put your tickers in.
Yep. Thank you, folks. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Babyface.